Hello, my friends. Welcome to 2016. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Noah Hammond Terrell, but I imagine the only people who are here are people who do know me, because this is just a catch-up video. This is a video I'm making to say hi to all my people out there. And oh, look at this beautiful shrine I just found with a burnt up license plate, but it's got a heart. Very interesting. So I'm out walking in one of my new favorite parks at the top of Topanga Canyon here in LA. So we've got Malibu down the hill over there on the ocean. We've got, if you can see, viewpoint of Santa Monica and Venice and all those towns into downtown LA. You can see it far off in the distance maybe. Been hiking for a little bit now, getting a sweat on. Take this off. So, hi everyone. I wanted to shoot this video to catch you up on my life and share some really amazing lessons that have been coming in for me, and mostly just to reconnect, say hi, and wish you all a really amazing 2016. So, 2015 was one of the most magical, most epic, most difficult, most soul-crushing years of my life. And it wasn't just what happened 6 weeks ago, where my fiance, or ex-fiance I should say, Corrin and I broke up, but it was the whole journey of 2015 was epically difficult and also epically expansive. And from what I seem to feel out there in the world and from conversations I've been having, it seems like that is a lot of people's story. So congrats, we made it through 2015. And 2016 is looking bright and amazing, much like the sunset that we got coming up here, which should be pretty incredible. So let me rewind a little bit. Yes, 6 weeks ago, Corrin, my ex-fiance, and I broke up. And it was more than your typical breakup, because we also had a company together that we were pretty much struggling to build for the last couple of years. And we had everything in our life really deeply entwined and interlaced and enmeshed together. We lived in an RV for most of 2015 in really tight quarters, obviously, traveling around the country, really being each other's like sole go-to, always there, dependable friendship, outlet, connection. And yeah, I wanted to share some of the lessons that I got and that I've been getting, because basically broke up at the end of November, and I spent all of December just completely stepped back from everything. I wasn't doing any work other than serving a couple of my existing clients. I wasn't creating anything new. I wasn't revisioning. I wasn't doing anything except for healing, personal growth. I hired lots of experts of various types. I had amazing breakthroughs and deep integrations and soul healing, some of the deepest core wounds of my being. And I definitely feel like a stronger, more focused, more authentic, more divinely guided version of myself than ever before. So it's obviously all suffering is grace. It's a blessing. That's what it's here for. It's something that Ram Dass always says that I love. Suffering is grace, right? But what specific lessons are coming through, and how's this going to help us all have a better 2016, right? Because, you know, my viewpoint on things is that there's a reason why it's easy for me to do these kinds of videos and to speak to everyone, and it's because we all collectively grow from this and from other people who do this kind of stuff that I watch. So that's why I'm going to share these lessons with you guys. So the key lessons that have coming in. First off, it helped me see the most subtle levels of codependence and how it can kind of like sneak up on you in your relationships. And what I mean by codependence is basically any level of needing anything from anyone in your relationships, whether that's friend or lover or whatever, to feel whole, complete, and sourced. If you need anything from anyone else to feel whole, complete, and sourced, you are seeking outside of yourself for something that is actually inside, and that you can never fully satisfy from outside. And this happens in really subtle ways sometimes. So sometimes it's not as dramatic as, the spousal abuser and the broken woman who keeps going back to him, or something like that, like an archetypal thing. Sometimes it's super subtle. Check out this sunset that's coming up here. It's gonna be dope. So here's the thing, is that we've all been quote unquote damaged, if you want to call it that, because that's the whole point of this life, is to experience pain and duality and the growth that comes from understanding, diving into, moving through the challenges of life. If life was just easy the whole time, you really miss the point. And I think that everyone watching this video really gets that. The point of life is not for it to be easy, it's to grow you, it's to have an experience, it's to become the fullest potential of that which you truly are, to remember yourself as source, experiencing, but even bringing it back down to a more grounded 3D perspective. To become your best self, you must struggle. I've never heard of a story of someone who did something amazing in the world. It was like they were born, they had this idea of something amazing to do, they effortlessly did it, the world was changed, everyone lived happily ever after. Never heard that. And if you look at the biographies of all the great people who've changed this world, the story never goes that way. It's always filled with hardship, struggle, and triumph, and a hero's journey. So this hero's journey that I've been on, where the subtleties of codependence really led to immense struggle in my business for the last couple of years, in my relationship space, in my spiritual quest, in all these aspects that are important to me. There was immense struggle, especially in 2015. And one of the key things that I'm seeing is the importance of very consciously, at some point in your life, whether you're a man or a woman, very consciously uncoupling from your parents and your parental wounds. Now, this doesn't mean like stop calling them or stop loving them or stop honoring them or anything like that. What it does mean is looking at the conditioning that came in from your upbringing, even going back as early as 1 year old, and understanding the way that it shaped you, crafted you, and set you up either for failure or for success. And the parts that set you up for failure are obviously the parts that are eventually going to come to the surface, eventually going to need healing, eventually going to need processing and integration. And some of those things have been coming up for me very pertinently, or very specifically during this time. So a very simple thing to do is to look at the model that your parents were for you, and to see the ways that it was positive and the ways that it was negative. And to be willing to understand that no matter what you think, the ways that that model was negative are permeated in your being on some level. That's why they were your parents. That's why you chose them, because you're here to get those lessons, right? So for me, that's where the subtleties of codependence come in. And I don't want to share, family details and things like that, but by being willing to look there, I've been able to integrate, fill places that wanted love with love, and to become more whole and complete on my own, to remember my true identity. So that's one main thing. The other main thing, and I think this applies to business, I think this applies to relationships, I think this applies to pretty much anything in your life. 90% the right fit is really difficult. It's a beautiful piece of wisdom my brother actually gave to me. The relationship that's 90% the right fit is awfully difficult, because it's so close to being right. It's so close. It could be. And you will kill yourself trying to make that other 10% shift to be the right thing. Same thing with business. Same thing with your college degree, your field of study, your hobbies, whatever it is. Anything that's 90% the right fit is going to be epically difficult to achieve mastery and success and sustainability with. So just take it from me, there is actually no valor in being able to stick it out, to take the pain, to carry no matter what, to carry on no matter what. It doesn't actually make you a hero. it just prolongs the pain and the suffering, and it makes it take longer for you to understand the lessons that are already presenting themselves. And which leads me to the third most important thing that's come up. And there's a million things that I could do a million articles on, but honestly, I'm kind of stepping back a little bit from coaching for a little while. Probably won't see me out there in the world with a lot of messages until like the second half of this year. I'll be taking on just like a handful of clients and really being low key with that kind of thing. But the third main thing that I wanted to bring out is that above all things, sacred selfishness is of primary importance in this, especially in this time of our evolution, right? Back in the day, when we were not as abundant as a culture as we are right now, it was important for us to be selfless, to grind and get the job done, to go to the coal plant and dig the coal and whatever, because you were powering an industry, etc. And now the point of humans on this planet is a little different than it used to be. Now it's much more, we're moving into a consciousness evolution and moving into higher realms of consciousness. And the point for us being here truly is to evolve. So sacred selfishness comes to play there because it keeps you on course for your highest evolution. Because when you are tapped into your spirit, when you are tapped into that which feels good, when you are following the stream of call it bliss, whatever, unfolding in front of you, it guides you in the direction of your highest evolution. I'm not saying that means shirk off things that are difficult right away, just follow your bliss, man, and like be all flaky. What I'm saying is understand your priorities, understand your values, and understand what fills you up. And keep yourself full to the brims no matter what it takes before you give anything to anyone. That's why you haven't seen me around a lot, because I've needed to fill myself up, because I had lost myself unconsciously in my relationship, in a business, in all these things that were out of alignment. I lost my top priority in life, which is to be ruthlessly focused on my spiritual evolution, my personal growth. And I allowed myself to get into habits and routines and into actions and into things that were compromised my core integrity. And so without being filled up myself, there was nothing really to give. There was no overflow to source from. So that's where sacred selfishness comes in. That's where understanding your boundaries comes in. That's where setting and communicating boundaries comes in. That's where creating life intentionally from your top priorities and from your top values comes in. And that's where being willing and being self-loving enough to give yourself what you need when you need it, and to have that actually be a top priority comes in. Now, we've all seen models of sacrifice. I've seen it specifically with my mother, who, when I was growing up, she was traveling the world week in, week out, all over the world, doing everything to be a business consultant and raise all the money that our family needed to live this beautiful middle-class New York area lifestyle. But it came at a cost. She actually ended up getting breast cancer twice. And that came from the utter exhaustion that she put herself into in order to be this world-traveling business consultant, working 16 hours a day and traveling and flying to different parts of the world every single week. It caught up with her. It got a very real signal. And so no, I didn't get breast cancer this year, but my confidence was chipped away, my integrity was chipped away, my love of self was chipped away. All these things were chipped away, but it was my own doing. You see, that's what I'm trying to share here. That's what I am sharing here. So sacred selfishness is the big third. And hope you guys are enjoying the sunset. So that's all I really wanted to share, with some of these big lessons that came away. I mean, 2015 was an epically beautiful year. Spent the first 5 months of it down in Mississippi, helping Corrin's brother avoid death. Then we spent the next 4 months traveling around the country. I did like 25 states and 15,000 miles of travel and 20 national parks and 20-something state parks. And I saw so much beauty that this country has to offer. And I also got to experience my fair share of pain and trouble and struggle. And and I got to come out the other side, a whole new next version of myself. So, that's what I signed up for in this life, clearly. So for those of you who are here with me, thank you for being here with me, and know that I'm here with you as well. And I've got some really cool things coming this year to support people. I'm going to be building a publishing company that's going to help leaders and innovators get their message out there, get their marketing out there, so they can stop struggling trying to learn how to be marketers when they're not. So for leaders, game changers, messengers, people who are doing good work in the world, we're going to help you take care of that. So look for Om Publishing Group coming to you. And at some point, I'll get back into this whole coaching thing when I feel so full that I can't possibly help but pour it out to you guys. I'm going to work with a couple clients from now till then, and I've got some really cool ideas that are in formulation, but I got to go put them into the testing ground first, aka my life. So I'm going to close now, and I'm just going to send you guys epic love, epic prosperity, epic good juju for 2015. Let me rephrase that. Epic love, epic fortune, epic good juju for 2016. And may all your dreams come true. This is the year that your dreams come true. And they may happen, they may not. Who knows? But that's the belief I'm holding. Because why not? Sending lots of love. Talk soon.